Hello, Alex. Chloe, mucho gusto. So, the big question: what is the best country in the world? So, we're going around. We're in Barcelona. We're asking people which is the best country in the world. And where are you from?
From Maryland.
Okay. And in your opinion, which is the best country in the world?
Not America.
Not America.
I don't know what's the best.
No, wait. Can you just give me
For a reason.
however many you have?
Sure.
Healthcare, generally just treating people, government, society in general, way of living, competition, economics, just everything.
And why are other countries better?
They put more effort. Like here, we have an agreement that the United States is a part of. Like we're all part of a big agreement with other countries to reduce our carbon emissions, and we do the least. Like you have several bins here, like several ways of dumping it, and like the United States barely have any of that. So it's like we're clearly not trying enough.
And if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. You live in Spain now?
Yeah, currently.
And
Studying.
how many years have you been here? You go to school?
Yep.
How is the education system here?
It's been 2 months.
How is the education system here?
I would say it's pretty much better.
Better than the United States?
Yeah, they teach you from a younger level.
Price-wise, education-wise?
I wouldn't say
overall?
price. I would say education-wise, they teach you different languages in the U.S. Like it's not really mandatory and it's opportunity later instead of like when you're younger, which is prime time.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. What was your name again? Sorry? Chloe. With a C or with a K? C. Oh, you're not a Kardashian. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
So we're here in Monaco, in front of an art gallery, on a snakeskin windowsill. The absolute pinnacle of prestige European society. Disgusting opulence is awful. You've asked me the best country in the world, Switzerland.
Why?
So I think they've got amazing levels of education, some of the best in the world. They've got one of the best welfare states. They have incredible landscapes, mountains, the lakes, everything. Yeah, I just think they're up there.
What makes a country the best country in the world?
I think the support they offer to the people that live there.
The poor people.
No,
All people.
all people,
General population.
the general population and what everybody has access to. I think when you look at the population of Switzerland, they're at a bigger benefit than most of the world. But
And where are you from?
London,
London.
yeah.
And we met. How did we meet?
So we met in Monaco, in Monte Carlo Casino.
Why? Why did we meet?
Casino
Why
Royale.
how did we meet in Monaco?
Because I was gambling and didn't know what to do, so I approached you for advice, and
Because
I lost all my money. All of my money. So I know now the US is not the best because I am broke. I'm telling you, Switzerland, best country.
Why?
Everything.
What do you mean
If you look at all of the markers for what makes a place good, Switzerland will top them out.
So when you're saying a country is the best, okay,
Yeah,
are you talking about for the general population or just for yourself?
general population.
General population.
I don't live there. Doesn't benefit me.
And
London,
why don't you live in Switzerland?
Because you can't.
Because you
They're
can't.
so defensive of their own system, and they've always been completely neutral. They don't get involved in wars.
Selective.
So if you want to get a Swiss visa, you basically have to prove that you're better than a Swiss person, or you have to marry one of them. And if you can't do that, you can't get in. Because they know, and they are, the best nation.
They've never been to war. Switzerland has never been to war.
Do you know, I can't, they probably have been to war at
They've
some point.
never been to war.
Yeah, because do you know why they've never been to war? It's not just a political thing, it's a geographical thing. So they're surrounded by mountains.
Capitalism?
So they're no, do have capitalism, but one of the benefits of Switzerland is like geographically, they're surrounded by the Alps on 3 sides. So they're really defensible. So they have the upper hand with their geography as well as the politics.
Do you think people are afraid to attack Switzerland? Is that what you're saying? Because they're surrounded by...
I'm not going to quote it, quote for quote.
Look at
but there is something that Hitler
Look
said.
at Vietnam. I want to ask you a question. Why didn't the United States beat Vietnam?
Because the Viet Cong tackled it in such a way
They camped
that
out.
the US had no way of dealing with that.
Right?
And you look at,
no, I agree with you.
You look at
I think
at the tunnels.
The landscape. We couldn't hit them. Right?
18 years.
Why do you think the US should be able, why
we were shooting...
Shut up. What makes you think that the US should be able to beat Vietnam?
Stereotypically, the United States has a better military, right? You would think that they would have won.
Why do you think they're better?
Because the United States spends more money on their military. We have a better military.
Why do you think money equates to better skills?
It's not just me, Deck. Everyone asked that question, I think. How did we lose to Vietnam, right? How did we lose?
Why were you there? You had no reason. All you did was cause generations.
I agree.
All you did was cause generations of trauma.
I'm only allowed to ask questions, okay? So I want to ask a very important question. How did the United States begin?
Immigrants.
Immigrants? And where do they come from?
Europe.
And how did they take the land? How did they get the land? Did they buy it?
By murdering
Sounds like Liam.
the native
Genocide.
people and genocide.
Yes.
And
okay.
awful,
Yes.
awful
Awful.
awful shit. Not you, sorry.
England.
The US getting involved with
How did
Vietnam,
England get their land?
through thousands of years. Did you just ask how England got their land?
Well, I guess at some point, right? Someone had to steal something from someone, right?
So if you look at the history of the
Listen.
UK, do you know the history of the UK?
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay, so we are here with my friend
Richard.
Richard, Alex, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
So, we're asking, what's the greatest country in the world?
Mexico. Hands down. You know?
Why?
Thing is, Americans, we love to talk about our freedom, but really, it's just the guns. That's all we have more than anybody else. Because you walk around a socialist country, I don't see anybody struggling. I see people, it's expensive here, but they're living such a peaceful life, you know. Going to the grocery stores for me and my girlfriend, $200 for a week. Here, $80 for 2 weeks, you know. But that being said, the awesome power of America is that soft power that you see the influence, America's fingertips all over everything out here. You see their movie theater across the street, you know, Ant-Man, Marvel, everything. The music, you know.
What about education? You know,
Expensive in the United States. You know, here it isn't expensive. You know, it's not something that somebody's gonna ever say like, man, I really wish I could get an education, but I can't afford it. They don't have that conversation here. You know,
if you were going to say one country is better than the other, what are your standards? What are your guidelines, right? Like if you're comparing one country to the other, because there's certain things that don't matter,
right?
How people dress, or maybe the architecture, maybe it might not be important to you. However, things that are important to you are like transportation. Is it sanitary?
Yeah.
Is the education system good? You might not have. Do you have kids?
No kids.
So, and you're already educated. So why do you care about the education system, right?
That's the thing. As a former high school educator, I used to teach high school in Arizona. You know, I think it's the only job that people have in the States where you actually steal stuff from home to take to work because you just don't have the resources in public education. And the thing is when you think of a place that makes you feel comfortable, there's there's not a lot of things that you could really say that, to me anyway, that are more comfortable than the food, the quality
Basic
of life
necessities,
for people, the
right?
quality
Yeah.
of life for people.
Enjoy life, right?
That's the one thing about, we may be, 50th in healthcare or education, all these other statistics that you talk about. But the one thing that America has above anybody else, I believe anyway, they have more confidence than any other place I've ever visited in the world.
Cheers. Salud.